Tonight, the path of destruction after twisters tear through Michigan.
The walls are sucked out and you can see outside.
Homes ripped apart, communities left in shambles.
We built this house one time, we'll build it again.
And historic buildings that stood the test of time destroyed in seconds.
As we look at the images along the path of destruction, it is amazing. No lives were lost in all of this. Thank you so much for joining us. Good evening. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Glenda Lewis. The last 24 hours just unbelievable for so many. Families losing their towns, homes ripped apart.
It's believed several tornadoes swept through Michigan from the west side up into the thumb, leaving damage and devastation in their wake.
And tonight we have Team 7 coverage from the hardest hit areas, but we're going to begin with Kim Russell in Decker, where a dairy farm was nearly leveled.
I am standing in a stall where just one of thousands of cows would have been standing last night when the storm hit, tearing down the barn around it. Now the community is coming together to help this dairy farm rebuild and care for its livestock.
I seen the storm coming.
Jay Proctor works at the DeVore Dairy Farm. He left work for a few hours last night, then got a call from his boss.
Yeah, you need to come to work. He said a tornado destroyed my farm.
This, a look at the devastation. Barns came crashing down around thousands of cows. Word spread fast. Soon volunteers showed up with excavators, trailers, and manpower. They went to work to save the cows.
They had the excavators working over here and they stopped, pulled the pieces apart. Up stands the cow, it comes walking out of the wreckage.
Doug Link is one volunteer. He doesn't know the owner of this farm. He just knows how to give animals first aid.
It's been 16 hours since some of these poor girls had a drink, so we loaded them up as gently as we can.
At the farm with almost 4,000 cows, only about 40 have died so far.
Some of these poor cows, their time was up. The roof lifted up and just came down on the back of their neck and they were gone.
The work is just getting started. The owner of this farm and his family too overwhelmed to go on camera, but they told me they're grateful to the community for stepping up, helping this family farm and its cows survive.
The emotional part for me is to see all the people that are here. It's real touching.
You can't ask for better people. To be honest with you, you can't ask for better people.
When you look at how the storm twisted and shredded these pieces of metal, it is amazing that no people were hurt. The owner of this dairy farm says he's grateful that it hit as workers gathered in a break room. In Decker, Kim Russell, 7 Action News.
We're going to take you now to Portland, Michigan, where you saw first on 7 the path of destruction unfold as we drove you into town, giving you a first-hand look at the power these storms were packing.
The EF1 twister literally changing the town's history, tearing apart buildings that had stood for more than a century. The newest addition to our Action News team, joining us now live from Portland, Curtis Jackson, welcome to this heartbreaking scene that you're covering.
The coincidence is almost as stunning as the devastation itself. 3 churches on one street, all potentially destroyed by the same tornado, including this one across the street from me here, the First Congregation Church, whose members are taking solace in the fact that no one was seriously hurt or worse.
A typical Sunday, there'd be 100 souls on board.
Were there any souls inside at the time of the storm?
No.
Fortunate under the circumstances?
Yeah, unfortunate.
Miraculous?
Yep.
The rare Greek architecture of the First Congregation Church is in ruins. It's one of 3 churches in Ionia County on the National Register of Historic Places. After nearly 175 years, its future is in doubt.
We preserved it right to the nails. I mean, we've been careful to maintain it and restore it and preserve it exactly. But now, how do you restore something that's been gone? You know, I don't think we could build it back the way it was. I don't think so.
A tornado Monday struck at the core of Portland's faith community, devastating 3 churches with nearly 400 years of history among them. This was First Congregation before the tornado. The steeple was reconstructed back in November at a cost of $140,000. Now it rests in the sanctuary along with the century-old bell that will likely toll no more.
But if I'd have been there Sunday morning, we wouldn't be talking.
The tornado struck just an hour after electricians installed new lighting on the steeple. They were assisted by Ron Nelson, a 35-year member of the church.
Within an hour, well, hour and a half, I got home. They said the steeple is gone. So, pretty close.
Now, it's unclear tonight if any of these three churches will be saved. One thing, though, that they are planning to do this weekend, all three congregations, though of different denominations, will worship together in one place at the high school gym. In Portland, Michigan tonight, Curtis Jackson, 7 Action News.
All right, a tough day to get started, but thank you, Curtis, and welcome to the Action News team.
Right now, still 16,000 in our area without power. That's including Washtenaw County, which was the hardest hit by last night's storms.
In Manchester, the Weather Service has just confirmed an EF1 tornado touchdown there. 7 Action News reporter Nima Shafee spoke with a mother who stopped at nothing to make sure her disabled daughter was safe.
Yeah, much of the damage here in Manchester, Michigan, part of Freedom Township, spans across Bethel Church Road just off M52. One of those families affected, the Dibley family here, and as you can tell, there's extensive damage. But you got to hear their story.
I had a bad feeling all day long, actually, that something bad was going to happen.
Call it maternal instinct.
The windows are all broken out, they're blown out, and maybe it's just the alerts going off all day, but I just felt something bad.
She had to wake her husband Scott up and get to her daughter, who's hearing and visually impaired, and get her down to the basement.
Crazy loud, and then all of a sudden the pop of all the glass, and then the glass shattering, and then the wind's blowing still, and the water hitting everything. Lily was sleeping. And you can see around there, you know, how it's sucked up there, but also right here, her lamp, it's like being sucked out that's just, there's the outside. My husband was still on the stairway coming from the upstairs, so he got glass all over him when it blew up, and then he came around the corner and cut his foot, but we all got down to the basement just in time, I guess.
In the aftermath of it all, parts of the roof completely gone. Then take a look at their front yard. It's also littered with a lot of debris.
I'm really glad that my daughter Abby was up north with my parents because I had such a hard time getting Lily out. I just don't know that I would have been able to get them both down the stairs. We've been through worse, right? We've got a bigger fish to fry. We've got demons we have to slay, right? So sure. Lily has a health issue, so this is nothing compared to that.
In Manchester Township, I'm Nima Shafee, 7 Action News.
Wow.
What an experience to go through.
Yeah, it's tough for a mom to keep her composure. You know, when you're talking about your kids, you know you're ready to cry, but she held it together for them.
Yeah, even the possibility of what might happen
exactly
sticks with you.